Hola, bitches. Today, I wanted to talk about one of the most dreaded cards in the tarot. And no, it's not the Tower, it's not Death, it's the Nine of Swords. You know, the one that literally looks like you woke up in the middle of the night after binge watching true crime and downing an entire cold brew. Yeah, that one. The nightmare card, as it is dubbed. But here's the thing. It's not just about bad dreams. This card is a whole conversation about how we about the mind, about anxiety, and how we let fear replay itself on loop. So, if you follow me across social media, which you should, obviously, you'll know that I like to talk about the tarot, and I've been sharing a lot of tarot tips, and I thought, like, why not do a series? Why not let us do a series on that instead of just typing it in text form? Some people learn better when we can have a conversation, or you can listen to someone talk about it and break it down. And so I figured, yeah, I can do that. I can try to do that at least. Let me know. Um, and I would have really chosen this card if it were up to me, but I decided to shuffle the deck, and I was like, you know what? Take a breather. And what do we need to talk about today? What needs to show up? And of course, the Nine of Swords popped up. Great. And what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a couple examples, not a few, a couple examples after, but we're talking about the Nine of Swords as the subject matter. So what I've been talking about on social media, on Blue Sky, on my Facebook, is a lot of people love the bite-sized tarot tips that I do. And so you have like your core card that represents like the main theme that you're trying to navigate or work through. And then you're choosing two other cards, one on the left and one on the right. And depending on how it looks, the left could be like what we're dealing with, and the right could be the solution, right? So just stuff like that. And I'm going to be talking and breaking down the Nine of Swords, and then we'll do some examples. And again, if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, you're more than welcome to share. But yes, the Nine of Swords, we're going to break down its core expression through numerology, its element, and astrology. Okay. So, nines in tarot. They're about culmination. Nines herald changes, right? So, nines are about and again, this is just a little brief run through your school of thought, your training in numerology, depending on where you're at. There might be slight variations, and that's okay. Just keep that in mind. So again, nines in tarot are about culmination, that final stretch before completion. With the Nine of Swords, it's like the universe saying you're almost through it, but the mental storm has. Oh, you guys, why don't you tell me? I made slides, my friends. Ah, there we go. The nightmare card, Nine of Swords. See, it's so cute. Look at it. Um, but it does. You can look at the card, and in at least the Rider Waite Smith variations, you can see in the body language, their back is towards the left. They're sitting up in bed, and they're kind of like overwhelmed. And are they crying? They might be. That purple, right, pinky purple, right there on their arm, kind of like a bruise, right? It's like, oh, there's a lot going on here. And then you can see the swords piercing through their heart chakra and their throat chakra and their third eye and crown chakra, right? The higher chakras. But you can see how the swords are moving from the left to the right, and so it's like something on the left, like something from before, is piercing through and plaguing the mind and body. But yeah, it's definitely expressing that you're almost through it, but the mental storm has to peak first. So when we talk about nines, we're talking about again changes, which change is not always fun. We're not really accustomed to it at a lot of us are like, don't like to change. But nine can also be strength, compassion. It can be suffering, optimism. There's a lot of interesting things with the number 9. And all of that can be, layered into this card. There is suffering here, but we also know that there might be some sort of optimism, like some hope. Like this is just like it's the like when you have night terrors and it's like it's sweating it out, right? So it's like I know that this won't last forever. It's going to go away, going to dissipate, whatever. And so if I typed something wrong, forgive me. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know. Who knows? But but you have that type of vibe with the 9, and the suit is swords, which is again with this tarot deck, or the Rider Waite version is associated with the element of air, and air is thought, logic, communication, our mental health, right? And you can see nightmare card plaguing the mind, air element, air connection, kind of cold, callous maybe a little bit, like really harsh energy. Um, so yeah, logic, communication, our mental faculties, but here air's gone stale. Instead of clear thinking with the 9 of swords here, instead of clear thinking, it's spiraling, it's suffocating, too much air, no grounding. And astrologically, this card is associated with the second decan of Gemini, which is Mars in Gemini. Mars, very hot. Gemini, very airy, hot air. So the mind turns into a battlefield here, which makes sense. Like the again, we have a Mars assertive, more so aggressive and warlike, and Gemini very thought oriented. So mental faculties are and also squirrel, like our thoughts all over the place because Gemini, the sacred twins, and there's thoughts and things all over and we're thinking about all the things all at once all the time. And so there's like this fight for which thought is going to dominate, right? And so it's a lot. It's a lot. So every thought arguing with another thought, until you can't hear yourself over the noise. That's why this card screams anxiety, fear, trauma, insomnia, despair, because Mars brings the fight and Gemini splits it into 200 conversations at once. Okay. You get a feel for like what we can talk about. Like if we have this as our subject matter, oh, if I'm feeling very anxious, I could probably work with the 9 of Swords if I want to navigate it. So as my core subject, the 9 of Swords card would be, representing my anxiety. Now, if you look at the Rider Waite image here, the figure is bolting upright in bed, facing or facing hands, pure anguish, or what looks like to be anguish. The swords hang across the wall, left to right, um, like carried burdens. Right, they're still going. They're moving towards the right. And if you notice their body, uh, they're turned up, right? They're upright. Their back is towards the left, and they're crying toward the right, or their anguish is towards the right. So it's like, oh, we realize like, oh, left can be representative of the past, the right the future. And so it's like, ooh, it's plaguing the mind and it's continuing, right? So that's our clue. The card on the left, okay, so if we want to start implementing other cards, so the card on the left, that can very well be the cause of the nightmare, because if you think about it, when you pull a card on the left of it, the this card, the 9 of Swords, its back is going to be towards the left, and then you see the swords are from the left and they're pointed towards the right, and so we know that sort of the left is going to be the cause of the nightmare, the cause of the anguish, the cause of the mental pain, the cause of the trauma that we're navigating. So the card on the right, that's the fallout. That's where the anxiety bleeds into real life. And so, again, not all of these tips are going to be, oh, here's a solution, because, and here's, this is how I work. So not everything is going to have an outright solution. So it's like it's more about processing and navigating our our anxiety and our trauma. So like this is the cause of it. Okay. And it's having a conversation. Here's the cause of it, and this is where this is being directed in my life. And so now that I have that information, I could lay out a new spread and find a solution, or I can just sit with that, journal it, or talk about it, or explore what these things mean, so I can have more of a understanding of what I'm going through, right? So again, the card on the left is the cause of the nightmare. The card on the right, that's the fallout where the anxiety bleeds into real life. So when you're pulling cards, the nine of swords becomes the anchor, the emotional state when you're needing something like this. So the nine of swords becomes the anchor, your subject, your core, the emotional state, the sleepless nights. The left card tells you why it's happening, and the right card tells you where it's showing up or spilling over. Okay? So let's talk about a couple juicy examples. And again, I didn't look for the easiest card to choose. I just shuffled. I was like, let's do it how we normally would do it. And I pulled I pulled two examples, and it's kind of funny to me because both examples are court cards. Yeah, and that's all they are. It's just all courts. So it's interesting because it's like people. So let me look. I remembered. Boom. Move it over, bitch. Move it over. Here we go. So our first example is wrong. What? Did I get it right? Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry. I'm looking at my notes. I'm trying to like put this example up here. Look at my notes. See if see if the images worked right when I did it. Because sometimes things mirror and yeah. Anyways, I'm okay. We're okay. So our first example is the knight the Knight of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. Um, yeah. Shit. And here I was. I'm like, I might just do a quick reel. No, this is gonna be a longer than 2 minutes. Shit. How do I do that? I don't know, because I like to explain things. I'm so sorry. So our first example, Knight of Cups reversed. We have the Nine of Swords, of course, at our core, our subject, our anxiety, our trauma, and the Queen of Wands reversed on the right. So let's say we've got the Knight of Cups reverse on the left here. This is your maybe classic heartbreak energy, someone making promises they can't keep, a dream that didn't deliver, an emotional letdown. That's the trigger. And if you just look at the cards themselves right now, you can see how, look, I'm pointing with my finger as like you can see me, whatever, just pretend. Um, Look at the Nine of Swords. Their back is towards the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups back is towards, they're not looking at each other. And the Nine of Cups reverse is all about what? Water, cups, water. That cup, that emotional, relational stuff is being dried up. It's poured out. Because again, it's reversed and it's moving away from the Nine of Swords, and in a direction that's still like they're still involved, but they're not moving together. They're moving apart, and it's hurting, right? There is this hurt here, and again, Knight of Cups, knights, they can, like, the court cards are a lot of times can be people. They don't have to always be people, but in this, I like it for a person. It's like relationship person, you know. And so, like, the Knight of Cups here is like, ooh, a dream that just didn't deliver, something that was, it hurt emotionally. That's the trigger. That's what has us up at night. Like, oh my God, this sort of this again, this knight in shining armor, this person that I thought I loved, they don't love me, and they're not who I thought they were. and I don't know, and we're not together anymore, and I don't know how to deal with that, and that's hurting me. So now, the Nine of Swords in the middle, that's you up at night replaying it, blaming yourself, asking, why did I fall for that? Could I have seen it coming? It's the guilt loop. Okay. And then on the right, we've got the Queen of Wands reversed. Ouch, my friends. Ouch. That's confidence shattered. Okay. Normally, she's radiant and powerful, but reversed, she doubts herself. The second guesses she second guesses her oomph, her fire. So in this example, the Nine of Swords isn't just about heartbreak, it's showing how that disappointment is eating away at your confidence. The cause is betrayal, and the fallout is you dimming your own light. And it's like, if you look at it too, the Queen of Wands is looking back. So it's like nothing, no one is looking forward. The nine is the closest thing to looking forward, but it's looking at its own anguish. It's looking at its own, like, its own mental faculties, and looking within, and it's just so it needs to be, a chancla. It needs a chancla to the head to snap you out of it. And the Queen of Wands is like, look, we could have so much if you just opened your eyes and realize, like, this will pass. Like, it is a nightmare. We will get through it. And so I feel like in a situation like this, we can say, with the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Cups, like, there is a heartbreak here, there's emotional trauma, there's emotional hurt, where maybe, again, if this wasn't an actual relationship, this could be like, okay, so there's a few ways we could read this. This very well could be someone who walked out on you, someone who cheated, someone who broke your heart, literally. Um, and the Queen of Wands could have been like, oh, I used to be so fun. I used to be so confident. I used to be like, who would do that to me? Right? No. And so it could very well be like, oh, this situation of betrayal, this situation maybe of abandonment, um, is what is preventing you from stepping into your power, into your confidence. Okay. So we can see that there. Now let's move on, my friends. See, I can't see. I tried taking pictures and they're crooked. Don't hate me for it. Queen of Swords reversed on the left, and the Queen of Cups reversed on the right. Two queens. Two queens. Now let's switch it up. Okay, the Queen of Swords here, reversed on the left. That's mental cruelty because, again, I'm sorry, y'all. I will say and say it again. And I know people don't like this word, but the sword suit are the cunts of the tarot. The entire sword suit is. But then there's something about the queens that are even super cunty. And I love it. But also it's like, ouch, owie. And when we have the Queen of Swords reversed, she's like, I don't fucking care who you are. I'm going to cut you. Like, I don't care. Cut. Um, and it can be very cruel, harsh words, manipulative criticism, someone cutting you down. That's kind of the trigger for the Nine of Swords here. So the nightmare itself becomes a voice in your head repeating their words at 2 a.m. What if they were right? What if I'm not good enough? And on the right, the Queen of Cups reverse, that's emotional overwhelm, drowning in feelings, mood swings, the cruelty triggered, the anxiety, and now it's seeping into your emotional, I would say, as well, psychic life, because I find the Queen of Cups super psychic, seeping into your emotional life, poisoning the well. You don't just think it, you feel it, and it throws your whole emotional center out of balance. Okay. And so it's like, oh, where is this focus? This sort of, like, these harsh words that were said to me that I can't just get out, get out of my head. They hurt. They hurt. And it shows up in manifesting not just in my head, but in my feelings. In the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is trying to peer towards the future. So I'm actually carrying these harsh words with me moving forward to the future. And I need to figure out how not to do that. And so we have to address those things, right? And so you can see how that kind of plays out in the way that they are positioned, the way that they look, their suits, their roles. Um, and because they're queens, we know that these are prominent figures in our life, or people who we respected, people who we held, in a high standard, maybe. Um, so that's just something to consider. So, boom, look at that. So here's the takeaway. The Nine of Swords is never just a card of doom. It's a mirror. It's showing you where the anxiety is coming from and where it's spreading. Ask yourself, what am I carrying into my nights? And where is that anxiety spilling into my days? And remember, the swords don't fall, they just hang there. That means the story isn't set in stone, the nightmare isn't permanent. You still get to decide how to face it, right? So, yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, concerns, all of that, just comment, let me know, tag me, reach out. I'm here. I'm here to help. I hope you like this. I know it's a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but I can't help myself from talking. It's just how I do. It's what I do. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want more of it, more of things like these, my friends, I can't fucking speak. But if you want more videos like this, let me know. Let me know. I tried to script this so hard too, and I had to record it like several times. Like, no, I can't do this because when I try to script something, I can like lay out my notes and I can like put bullet points and such. But when I'm trying to say, like fully script it and make it something, ah, I mess up so much. Like I mess up so much. And I already stutter and I already do that stuff, but like I just mess up. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I have to just, bullet points. And I can just ramble on. But I hope that you learn something from this, and I hope that you take this and make it yours and have fun with it. What card should we do next? Like what card should I focus on next? Let me know. Comment and let's see where we can take this. And if you just like the way I converse, if you like the way my style, I do offer monthly, weekly, and daily divination sessions for simply $5 a month on Patreon, patreon.com/slash Michael Blackthorn. Find me there. And for $5 a month, you get access. And yes, there are higher tiers. The higher tiers are simply I have a spreadsheet, and I give you like tokens, and depending on your tier, every so many months you can cash those tokens in for like a service with me, like a reading, a healing session, or you can save those tokens, and at the end of the year you can cash it in for like a physical product. You have to pay shipping, but like I will make you a poppet or an oil or whatever, like depending on your tier I will provide you a physical product. So yeah, it's fun, but it's my way of being able to do what I love and offer everything at one tier, and then the higher tiers are um just bonus if you want some other goodies. Yeah. But yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's fun. And again, obviously I don't know how to say goodbye. But thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.